Every year, there will always be that one or two parents that love to desell teachers.
Who's that Pokemon?
As if we don't already have enough problems on our plate. So I have this one parent in particular, the dad especially. Mom was actually quite understanding. I have seen the dad before, but during our interaction, I spoke to the mom while the dad just lurked in the background. And the child has a bit of special needs, so ADHD, has a little bit of trouble paying attention in class for long periods of time, which is pretty okay because honestly, I think apart from that, he's actually quite hardworking. He's a decent kid, so I don't really have any issues with the mom and the kid. However, there were two instances with the dad that sent me over the edge. So the mom had actually added me into a group chat with the child and the dad, and the first instance that really triggered me was that the dad actually wrote in the chat that he wants his child to score an A for English. I'm not the kind of tutor who will promise the sky just to keep students because I think it's very unethical. The child was also very weak, averaging D's and E's, so I told them that I'll try my best. Of course, it takes two hands to clap. The child has to also really want it in order to see improvements. And that was all relayed in the WhatsApp. I later relayed this to the mom again when I saw her next and said maybe can try aim for a B at the N levels. I later asked the student like, why did the dad write this kind of thing in the WhatsApp? And then he basically said, and I quote from my student, that the dad just wants to scare me. Scare me into doing what exactly? To this day, I still can't logic my way out of this. Isn't the fact that private tuition itself, parent can just easily cancel the tuition, right, if they feel that the tuition is not working out for them. So what is this scare tactic trying to achieve? I was so confused and also low-key starting to pick up on the vibe that this dad is going on some sort of a power trip, thinking that just because he paid tutors, he can bully them in some way or another. After several weeks, the second and final instance that sent me over the edge, and I was like, you know what, this is not it. So it was leading up to the June holidays, and I was doing an intensive program. Usually, I will open slots to my existing students and I will give them discounted rates if they want to join the program. Of course, it's optional. I sent out a mass announcement to all parents and also sent the announcement to the group chat that I was added in. Then, dad messaged in the chat using exclamatory statements, supposed to be looking at my child's exam paper, stop asking for money. And I got really pissed off. Would you? Because I definitely am. I suspect the reason why the dad wrote that message was because of misplaced anger and resentment. Why I say this is because the child's latest WA at that time, he didn't do well and his school teacher didn't provide a very good explanation as to why the student failed. So the student actually passed me his paper such that I can review it, and I haven't gone through with him yet at that time of the angry message, plus the fact that I also sent the mass message regarding the June intensive. Right? I think these two factors really caused him to lash out. His response was really uncalled for, and so I decided, you know what, I need to stand up for myself because who's gonna do that? The thing about me is that I keep receipts, proof and evidence, so after every assignment, I always make it a habit to scan the assignments, at least have some sort of digital copy. Why I found it unfair was because I've actually been marking these extra pieces of work for this child in the short 3 to 4 months that he was with me. So he did 2 IS paper, I marked and reviewed for his schoolwork, I've also gone through with him. I regularly update the chat with the parents in it saying, I've reviewed so and so, these are my general observations. The child needs to stay back for about 20 to 30 minutes after lesson because I'm reviewing this particular assignment with him. This girl ain't gonna take things lying down. So I fired back this really long message with all the scanned copies of the extra work that I've done as proof that I have been doing my job and also reviewing the extra work. And I even mentioned that I will be reviewing the latest WA when the student comes into class that weekend. Another thing is that the June intensive program is optional. I'm just sending a mass message. And finally, I also added a message that I think was the reason why it sealed the deal, as in I literally burned bridge and it didn't really show the best side of me. It was pretty harsh, but I have no regrets. Basically, I told the parent off by saying that I don't get where he gets this sense of entitlement that reviewing school papers and extra pieces of work is the norm. Child was not on a one-to-one private tuition, by the way. He was in a class tuition. Like the audacity to scare the tutor and then later on turn around and scold the tutor for doing something that is completely untrue and unfair. It might have worked for maybe a fresh grad tutor, but Lao Nyang already in this industry for 10 years. You're telling me that I should bend over backwards for you? why did I go into the private industry in the first place? I want freedom to choose my clients. Of course, clients can also choose me and choose not to continue with me, and that's perfectly fine. The freedom as well to teach what I want to teach, what I'm good at, and what I'm passionate about. So if a parent or a child is not the right fit, then it's best that we go our separate ways. Unfortunately, school teachers don't really have that kind of luxury of a choice to choose their students. That is also the reason why I chose to enter the private industry. Long story short, I have no regrets with how I interacted with this parent. But of course, some of you might disagree with me and feel that I should have showed some self-restraint. I did though, because the first instance when he tried to scare me unsuccessfully, instead of scaring me, it just confuses me. I kind of put it aside, and this second instance was just like the final deal. 2 strikes and you're out situation for me. I really did put in the effort for the child because I can see that the child tries his best. But unfortunately, it just doesn't pan out. I lose out on the opportunity to guide this student. If you're watching, know that this is not your fault. Another thing that I find really sad is that teachers often don't dare to raise these issues personally or directly because their jobs are on the line. Would this video make or break me? Anyway, next year, I really hope to get awesome parents that I can rave about. Please, jaga ma.